Hey guys, welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball here on GM Games. My name is Aaron, and this is the Colorado Rockies. We had a lot to do. This episode will be in lieu of my live stream on Sunday, as Sunday is Father's Day, and I wish to take that day off and be celebrated as a father. So I'm gonna do the off season now, and we have a lot to take care of. We're over budget. We're losing some players. We have some young players that we're going to give a shot to next year. And that's really the state of things. This is going to be a very busy offseason for us. And as always, guys, I would ask you head over to my channel at Around the World Sports. Drop me a subscribe over there if you haven't already. I think most of you who watch this are already subbed to me over there. But if you're not, if you could, that would be wonderful. Let's get to it. So we finished the season a disappointing 81-81. Our Pythag was 90-72, so we were 9 games worse than our Pythagorean record indicated it should have been. My mouse is still acting up. From a budget perspective, we have a team payroll of approximately $140 million. Currently, it sits at $155. So if we want to be able to do anything this offseason, we are going to have to move some contracts. Most notably, some of the ones I'm looking at moving, just starting from the top, potentially Joey Gallo. And I mentioned this at the end of last episode. I have to decide whether or not, because at $25 million, nobody wanted him. We've already offered him up. We can get some decent offers if we pay half of his contract. So we have to decide whether paying Joey Gallo $12.5 million to play somewhere else is a better option than just paying him $25 to play for us. So we'll have to see what sorts of deals are available to us, kind of go from there. Sir Anthony Dominguez, just due to the length of the contract, 3 years at $10 million. Edwin Diaz, potentially. Both of these guys weren't bad last year, but for what we're paying them, I expected more. Zach McKinstry is on the block as his ARB number jumps up. Ali Sanchez is on the trade block. And even Clark Schmidt, who was our best pitcher, and it will likely end up in the running for the Cy Young as his ARB number skyrockets to nearly $12 million. So we got a lot to do here in this offseason. So we're going to start right at the beginning. So Patrick Sandoval, we are going to move on from him. He wasn't very good last year in either the majors or in AAA. I don't know that he would want to re-sign with us anyway. Yeah, he's not interested in signing anyway. So let's look at the ones that we are interested in. So first, Reed Detmers. He's not in. Okay. So this is a problem with how much money, or with how poorly we played last year. We're going to run into some issues here with people not wanting to sign contracts with us, which is not ideal. But you know, we'll sort through it. So Jamison Anno wants to come back at 1.4, so that is fine. And we will offer up the contracts to the people that we think will come back. Adonis Medina, because as I always say, I like to land contracts because you get that fan interest boost, which isn't a huge issue for us. Our fan interest is an 89, so we got good loyalty. So I'm not overly concerned about losing a ton in fan interest, but you know, you'd like to keep it. So Jason Foley is somebody we picked up in June for Logan Gilbert, who went on to have a really bad year. 7-13 with an ERA of 6. But that's a contract at 29 years old that I can get behind at 4.6. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. So we have to go. How do I go to pending offers? I don't know if you guys saw what I did, but I offered him $44 million. So, where can I go to find my pending offers? I think I can just go under off-season, right? Yeah. So, withdraw. I will see if I can go back in. I put in too many zeros. Hopefully that doesn't hurt us too much. 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I wanted. 4.4 million. All right, so that one's done. Tony Gonsolin at 2.5. I think that's a reasonable contract. So 2.490. Bring him back. Detmers doesn't want. And now we get into some of the interesting pieces. So Ali Sanchez at 4.2 is more than I want to pay my backup catcher, especially at 28. Zach McKinstry at 6.5 is more than I want to pay him. So let's start with McKinstry, because the other option is to wait until free agency and then see which teams had some finances open up and then go from there. Yeah, none of these offers are really all that good. I don't want to make another move with the Dodgers that'll just make them stronger. I'm tired of them winning. Anthony Siegler, maybe? I mean, we need a new catcher. We're going to need to move on from Ali Sanchez. So can we do something with the Yankees? Let me just make sure there's nothing else here. Cal Raleigh, Arb eligible. Tampa, no. Let's go back to the Yankees. So if we do Anthony Siegler and we added in Ali Sanchez and I'd rather have this guy. I'd rather have Antonio Gomez. Wow, okay, so they don't want to give up Antonio Gomez. So let's go back to the main roster. Their starters, Kyber Ruiz. Where is he? Anthony Siegler. All right, and who else do they have that we want? Do they have anybody that we want? Do they have any young players? Like Osiel Rodriguez. I think I'm getting my series confused. He's in my Tigers series right now, my Tigers playthrough. So they want guess or lighter, which isn't going to happen. Okay, that's fine. Beck Way's not bad. Destin Dotson, he's actually a starter. So they like that deal. Do I also try to, because they've got a ton of cap space. Oh, Dominguez has a no-trade clause. Okay, we will work through that, though. We will work through it. Okay, so we could give up Diaz, too, and they'd be okay with that. I don't know. I don't know if I want to make the deal quite that large. Let's see what other options are available here. Did you give me George Lombard? No. Alexander Vargas. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, I guess I'm okay with this. We would pick up Siegler, who is a captain, who would immediately become our backup catcher. On the negative side, he's a defensive marvel. Get himself out, acceptable as a starter. What do his ratings look like? He can hit pretty well against lefties. He's not very good against righties. I think I'm going to hold off on this for a second because I can find a backup catcher anywhere, I imagine. So let's go back to arbitration. Clark Schmidt. Clark Schmidt wants $11.5 million. I don't know that I can afford to pay Clark Schmidt $11.5 million. Let's sim ahead a day. All right. Ahmed, Canna, and Luzardo. I can't bring any of them back. Ahmed might be somebody we take a look at once we hit free agency. But what happens if we offer Schmidt up? Because that's a ton of money. Yes, he's pitching well, but that's a ton of money. I think I'm gonna offer these guys ARB contracts, or I'm gonna offer them. Yeah, I'm gonna offer them arbitration to get the fan interest bumps, and then look to move them because none of these deals are worth it. But Schmidt also isn't necessarily worth $11 million, so I'm hoping that there's a better deal to have. Yeah, and I'm certainly not giving him 7 years. So let's offer him 11. McKinstry wants 6.5. Nope, we'll give him 1 year at 6.250. And then Ali Sanchez wants 4, so we will offer him, or wants 4.2, so we'll offer him 4. So those are the ARB numbers. I have a feeling we're going to be moving on from some of these players, or I know we'll be moving on from some of these players. What happens if we trade or try to trade an Edwin Diaz right now? What sorts of offers can we get for him? Can we get 80% of Edwin Diaz for, 10% of the price? Hunter Brown's not a bad option. Again, it's the Dodgers. I mean, I would love to, make a move here for Dennis Santana. Not for that cost, but, for Bobby Miller, for example. But I don't want to make the Dodgers better. I'm tired of making the Dodgers better. I'm tired of sending them my players. Trevor Stephan. Fly ball pitcher. All right, we're going to hold off until free agency when some teams have some money open up. And hopefully we can do something then because, McKinstry, Sanchez are at a minimum. Those are going to be the 2 players that are gone. So let's go ahead and sim up to free agency. And when I come back, we'll take a look at award winners and that sort of thing. So I will be back, guys, in just a sec. All right, we are back. It is free agency time. So we're just going to go for, I haven't looked at anything yet. So Jason Foley signed. We got a fan bump for him, or a fan interest bump. Same for McKinstry. Same for Tony Gonsolin. AL Gold Glove Awards, AJ Puck, MJ Melendez, Evan White, Andres Jimenez, Matt Chapman, Nick Allen, Riley Green, Parker Meadows, Brandon Marsh in the AL. In the National League, Castellanos, Camposano, Hosmer, Stott, Arenado, Tamar Johnson, Christian Robinson, Harrison Bader, Mookie Betts. In AL Reliever of the Month, or Reliever of the Year, Jordan Hicks of the Mariners, followed by Hernandez and Fairbanks. In the National League, Zach Hess, the former, again, I'm getting my playthroughs confused. Zach Hess, former Tiger, Scott Barlow, Burt Caraway, and Jake Eater are your top 4 there. AL Platinum Sticks or Silver Sluggers, whatever you want to call them. Mejia with Tampa, Yordan Alvarez, Royce Lewis, Wander Franco, Willie Castro, Jung Hooley, Alex Verdugo, Jaden O'Grady, and JT Schwartz. In the National League, Chris Paddock, James McCann, Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Cabrian Hayes, Tatis. Veen wins it in left for us, Cody Bellinger, and Acuna. AL Rookie of the Year, George Valera of the Indians. NL Rookie of the Year, Sam Wesniak of the Colorado Rockies. 301, 33 home runs, 84 runs knocked in. Manager of the Year, Scott Servais in the American League. Dave Roberts in the National League. AL Cy Young Award goes to Shane Bieber, with AJ Puck finishing second. In the National League, Adrian Morejon with the Padres. Clark Schmidt finished third, as I anticipated. AL MVP goes to Alex Verdugo of the Red Sox. And in the National League, Fernando Tatis. We had Zach Veen was down here in, 10th? Yep. So, all right. Anybody interesting coming from Japan? He's not bad. We don't need him. International free agent. So we lost the ARB hearing with Reed Detmers. He got 2.2. We offered 1.8. Any interesting players? No. Soriano's not a bad defensive outfielder, but no. So free agents, Luzardo is on there, obviously. Carter Kieboom. Mitch Keller is a free agent. If there's some way we could make that happen. Morejon, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, is on there as well. So there are some solid free agents. Let's delete these. I don't think we have any money. Yeah, we have no money. So we are going to need... So let's start offering players up and see what we can get. So we're going to start with McKinstry and see if the offers change at all. Doesn't look like they are changing too much here, but that doesn't mean we can't find something. Well, that's a little disappointing. All right, so let's do this. Let's offer up Gallo. And a lot of this, I think I'm going to be doing a lot of this stuff offline, guys, just because this video will be 3 hours if I sit here and try to mess around with a lot of this stuff. So I might end up making some of this offline as I try to come up with a solution for some of this stuff. I'm just trying to see what sort of offers are available, right out of the chute for some of these guys. So if we eat half of Clark Schmidt's contract, again, we can bring back a Hunter Brown. Trevor Stephan continues to be on the trade block. Again, he's a fly ball pitcher, though, so I don't know how well that would play in Colorado. All right, so it doesn't look like there's a lot of interest in some of these players, but that doesn't mean that I can't figure something out. It just may require some creativity, I guess. All right, let's look and see. I think what we need. So if we remove McKinstry from the lineup and we put Kiner Falefa in at second, so we still need a shortstop. That's the thing. Because we can make Kiner Falefa the shortstop. He could play short as well. And we were going to call up Drew Jones, and we are going to call up, I think that was it. Yeah, he was the only. What I want to do is I want to get everybody up here that I anticipate being on the roster next season. So Denny's going to start in AAA. Leto's going to start in AAA. Parker's going to start in AAA. He's going to start in AAA. Carter Smith is likely to start with the big club because he's 24. All right, so what does that do from a pitching perspective? That gives us 16 pitchers with some depth behind it. So Ben Guess is going to be a starter. Carter Smith, I would like to make a starter. And we have other players. Like we have Jackson Bennett who could start. He's a fly ball pitcher, though. Spencer Miles who can start. So I think we can get away with moving a pitcher or two. From a lineup perspective, we're going to need a shortstop if we move on from McKinstry. The other option is to keep McKinstry, stick Kiner Falefa at short, and then just try to save money by moving Sanchez, Gallo, and coming over to the pitching side, Diaz. If we can do that, that's 25, 35. And if we move Clark Schmidt as well, that's freeing up about $50 million. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do here. I'd like to keep Glasnow. I think his contract is manageable, and I think he's been consistent for us. If not great, he's been consistent. Schmidt has gotten better year over year, but he's hit his peak, and he's now 30. Dunn, had a really good, I think he's had back-to-back good years for. So I think Schmidt's the one to go. And if we run with Glasnow, Dunn, Leiter, Guess, and Smith next year, I would be content with that. So what I'm going to do is see what I can do, see what sorts of moves I can come up with, and I'll come back when we've made a move, and then I'll come back when we've made another, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to bounce around here a bit, but again, I don't want to do a lot of this stuff on camera just because it's going to take forever. So yeah, I'll be back here in just a second. Okay, we are back. It's just a day or two later, and I spent probably a good 90 minutes sorting through this and trying to come up with some deals. And I was able to make two, one of which I was very happy with, one of which I was not happy with at all, but it was the best I could do and I needed to do it. So let's start with the one I'm not happy with. It was strictly a salary dump as we sent Clark Schmidt along with Ali Sanchez and Ty France to the Boston Red Sox in exchange for Shea Langelier. And the issue I'm running into, and it's a really bad time to be running into this, is that there are only a handful of teams that have any money this offseason. I want to say there were only 4 teams that had more than $10 million in available money. So the options were incredibly limited as to what we can do. Now, that being said, Langelier is not a bad player. 22 home runs 2 years ago for the Red Sox, 13 last season. Good for he had 3.1 WAR just 2 years ago. So he will back up Drew Romo. We give up Clark Schmidt, which is a stinker. But again, at $11 million, $11 million. His contract was up after this year. We likely weren't going to re-sign him anyway. So we pick up our replacement for Ali Sanchez, who we also weren't going to re-sign after this year. And we cut roughly $15 million from our payroll. So I'm not happy with that deal at all. But it was one of those things that sort of needed to happen, I think. That frees up that starting rotation role for Carter Smith. So Glasnow, Dunn, Leiter, Guess, and Smith, with Bennett and Miles as the backup options at first base. All right, starting pitcher, rather. The other deal we made, and this one I am quite happy with, involved Edwin Diaz. So we traded Edwin Diaz to the Milwaukee Brewers. See, Edwin Diaz goes to the Milwaukee Brewers along with 20-year-old Raul Estrada. Fairly good prospect. I don't know that his defense will ever play well enough, and I'm hoping that his bat doesn't come along all that well. So, I mean, he's a good prospect, don't get me wrong. But we give up him and Diaz, and in return, we get Isaac Pacheco, who is the number 60 prospect in all of baseball. Pacheco, 2-star, 3.5-star, great power, great eye. He may not hit for a ton of contact. He may only hit 240, 250, but he will likely put up a 380, 390 on base percentage and could easily put up a 900 OPS with these ratings. He's a decent infielder. So we've made him, so he's sort of our top third base prospect now. We then took Luke Leto and made him a first baseman, as he's just getting scary good with the bat. We also have, I forgot about Denny. We also have Denny waiting in the wings. So we had a lot of, and Cademan Parker for that matter. So we had a lot of options to be able to make that salary dump without stressing too much about it. Our minor leagues are absolutely loaded. So we can afford to attach a prospect like Estrada to someone like Diaz to get the money off our books to bring in somebody like Pacheco, who frankly I think is going to be a better offensive player. So that's where we stand right now. I can't find anybody who's interested in Joey Gallo, or at least nobody who can afford him. So it looks for the time being we are going to be stuck with Joey for the final year of his contract, which is fine. We will make it work. Dominguez, it looks like we can trade if we offer him up. So it's something I will keep an eye on here over the course of the rest of the offseason. Haven't moved McKinstry. I'm not sure that I'm going to. I think I might run with Kiner Falefa at short. Kiner Falefa at short and Enrique Hernandez at second. Or not Enrique Hernandez, Zach McKinstry at second, with Hernandez playing against lefties because he can still hit lefties. His contract he's a team option this season. Henao is getting better. I still need that defense to show up a little bit. And we need to do something about shortstop, really. I think if we McKinstry's good, but I don't know that he's $6 million good, and there are some options free agent wise at shortstop. Most notably, we could just go back to Nick Ahmed, who wants half of what McKinstry's making, and he's a better shortstop. So in fact, I think let's mess around with this now and see what options are out there for a Zach McKinstry. Need some coffee. Ugh. All right. And yeah, and again, here's the problem is that there just aren't a lot of teams that have a lot of money. At least teams that we want to deal with. So, like, no, even the Dodgers don't have a lot of money, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's just nobody has any money. It's really, really painful to look at. Pete Fairbanks. Like, I would like to do something with Tampa where, maybe we trade McKinstry for Fairbanks. We attach Dominguez, but then they don't have any money. So that's not going to work. So I have a feeling we're just going to sort of be stuck with some of these players. If we look at the trade block, Nick Senzel's on here, but he's making like 16. I mean, none of these players are going to be, worth. I don't want to say worth it, but I mean, we could bring him in, but for what reason? I mean, like, Arias is a terrible second baseman. Pitcher wise, there are a couple of decent arms on here, but again, at what expense? So the other option is to try to wait out some of these other teams, like Mitch Keller's contract. He wants $25 million, but if nobody can afford him, same with Morejon. If nobody can afford him, maybe that contract comes down to a point where, we can get him for $11 million in that first year, and then, we can bump it from there. We could offer Zach Gallen a contract, but again, I don't need another starter. That's just going to... So I don't think we're going to necessarily make any moves in free agency right now. I think we're going to hold off. We'll probably wait until the new year and see what's available. I also want to see what is going to happen here. Our fan interest is 90, so I think if I bump our ticket prices a bit, we should be able to generate some interest. And I could always I don't want to cut my player development budget. That's what's allowed us to build this monstrosity of a minor league system. So I certainly don't want to sacrifice anything there. Man, we have so many good prospects. What if we attach an Alex Freeland to, again, it's they just don't have the money. Yeah, these teams just don't have the money to take on Gallo. They might as the offseason goes on, so it's something we'll keep an eye on here. If I attach a Freeland to a Gallo, yeah, see, that immediately gets us a couple of better options. Like, I wouldn't mind Tim Anderson at short. He's making $60 million over the next few years. Can they eat any of his contract? So we could add on a Dominic Fletcher. Yeah, see, even that, I don't want to pay Tim Anderson $10 million a year, although he's really good. Oops. And I forget sometimes that I'm doing this on camera or on mic, I guess. So if I stop talking, just bear with me. I forget. I'm being forgetful at the moment. Matt Olson. Man, he's really good too. But I have Matt Olson and Joey Gallo already. Yeah, again, I'm not interested. If we're going to do this, I'm not interested in bringing contract back on. That kind of defeats the purpose since we only have Gallo for one more year. All right. So let's just sim ahead now to the Hall of Fame votings, and then we'll take a look at maybe when we get to the Rule 5, there will be something available for us, and we can make a move there. So yeah, I wasn't happy with the first trade. I am happy with the second trade. It's going to create. We have a roadblock now at our corner infield positions. We've got Jose Ramirez locked up long term. We've got Luke Leto. We've got Isaac Pacheco. We've got Alex Freeland, all waiting to come up and play corner infield positions. Our outfield is set with Veen, Jones, and Adele. And now at second base. So we are. I still don't understand how we only won 81 games last year with this roster, guys. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Yeah, I don't understand it. But that's done and over. So let's move on. All right. So Hall of Fame voting: Carlos Beltran, Adrian Beltre. I think Robbie Cano. We're going to pretend that he hasn't been suspended twice for performance-enhancing drugs. Bartolo Colon, yes. Todd Helton, I believe, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Look at those numbers. I don't know. I don't know how you can disagree with it. I understand he played in Colorado, but those numbers are just too good to pass up, in my opinion. Tim Hudson, Andrew Jones, neither of them are going to make it. Both deserve to be in. Joe Mauer. I got two more spots here. I want to vote for Pedroia, but I'm not going to do it. I am going to vote for Manny, try to get him over the hump in his 10th season, and Ichiro. So that leaves Omar Vizquel, CC Sabathia off there, which is a bit of a shame, but all right, so there's that. So what's up next? What's up next is the winter meeting, so we'll keep simming ahead. Yeah, and maybe we can just wait out some of these other teams and we can get a bargain on somebody. I'd love to bring Nick Ahmed back for, $1.5 million, $2 million, stick him at short and move on from McKinstry. And not that Zach hasn't been bad, but Ahmed is simply better, especially at shortstop. All right, so we are at the winter meetings. Let's take a look and see where we stand here. Yeah, see, we're actually down money. So does that mean that... Okay, so nothing's happened here yet. All right, so we're up money this year, down money next year. So let's look at offseason. And I think I do want to bring back... Okay, so Luzardo is still out there, which means some of those other big-name free agents have already signed. So let's take a look. Matt Chapman signed a 5-year, $99. Where are they getting this money from? That's what I don't... Maybe these... I don't know where they're getting these. I don't know where the Yankees got this money, this $20 million from for Keyboom. I don't know where the Braves got this money from to pay Eloy Jimenez. I don't understand it. December, November. Mitch Keller, signed with the Padres for $132 million. That sucks. Where did Morejon sign? With the Mets. 6 years, $136 million. Okay. All right. So the Padres got better again. Let's look at batters because I'd like to bring back Nick Ahmed. He was good at short. Played really good defensively for us. And we can probably get him on the cheap. He wants 1 year, 3.8. Will you take 3? 1 year at $3 million. So now if we come in here and we go here and we offer up Zach McKinstry, let's see what sorts of potential deals we can get in return. I'm hoping maybe because it's the winter meetings, people will be more willing to open their pocketbooks. Doesn't appear to be that way, though. Isaac Paredes, meh. Here's the I guess not the problem, but here's one of the issues is that I need to understand that a lot of the prospects I'm going to get in return aren't going to be as good as the prospects I already have. So I literally am just adding to my prospect pool, trying to trade someone like McKinstry. And we can get Luis Patino. 6'11 and 11. That's not a bad deal. Shane McClanahan. He's ARB eligible. He's out for another 5 weeks. Should probably look at that. I mean, Patino might not be a bad deal. Again, he's young. He signed 6'11, and if I can do this and include this, yeah, this seems, I mean, I'm adding another starting pitcher, which I've said time and time again that I don't need, but he's 26 years old. Great movement, good stuff, good control, 3 good pitches, coming off of back-to-back 3-win seasons, 4 straight seasons of at least 30 starts and 170 innings. We move on from McKinstry, which, we were considering doing anyway. We get Dominguez's contract off the books, which covers Patino. Can we get them to eat any of the contract? How much can we get them to? Can I just start adding like garbage level players to make this happen? So at 40%, no, I can't add. Oh, no, here, we got Zamora. You want Zamora? Okay, so we're at 50. They'll take 50. What about 55? Steer? Sure. 60, 65, 70. All right, so we can get 65. Can we get them to take 70? What would we need to add to make you take 70? Is there anybody here that I'm willing to just say goodbye to? Not particularly. Not to just get them to take a little bit more money off the books. Although if I gave them Freeland, I might be able to pick up... Can I pick up another prospect? Is there anybody here worth picking up? Not really. I mean, I should be good with 70% of the contract. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna take Freeland off. We'll go to 65, and we'll pull the trigger on this deal. So our available money improves this year by $14 million. Basically, we're going to be paying Patino $2.5 million this year, and then like $3 million each of the next 2 seasons. So I'm good with that. So they don't like McKinstry leaving. They don't like Dominguez leaving. They significantly like Patino coming in. So that's a huge deal for us right off the bat. And even if Patino is a reliever, the value that we get for that reliever is going to be really good. So if we go with we're not going to go with a 6-man rotation, but we have a 6-man, potentially a solid 6-man rotation if we want one. So I think our bullpen is pretty well set. We have 15 players here. We'd have to send a couple down. We still have a couple of players here in the minor leagues, Parker and Denny, as well as Conine that we can call up if we need to. We got to put Conine on the 40-man, though. We have Costi, Shock, Lamella. Yeah, so we have a lot of depth and a lot of pitching depth in AAA. Got to put Wagner there. Elijah Hamill. A lot of people wanted Vladimir Lopez, and instead of losing him in the Rule 5, what sort of prospect can we get for him? So I was really happy with that Tampa deal. I think that is going to really work in our advantage. So Shortstop would be good. A shortstop would definitely be good. So Anthony Volpe is a pretty decent middle infielder. He's a captain, making the league minimum. It's perfect 17 for 17 in stolen bases. He likely could go down to AAA for some additional seasoning, which I'm good with. Can we get anything else? I want to do this real quick. Let's see what sorts of prospects and irregulars. Because he was the key to a lot of these deals. A lot of these teams were saying, well, if you throw in Vladimir Lopez. All right, so that doesn't help. So what if we do this? Is anybody going to be interested in Gallo now? Nope. And again, what if we eat? And we're not in as big a position where we have to deal Gallo now because we just dumped. And I hate being that kind of. I think I'm going to make that deal for. I hate being that kind of GM, where I signed those two players last year, and Dominguez and Diaz, and dumped them both this season. But I think long term, it's the right move. We have so much young pitching depth that's not expensive that I think that it's the right move to make. So I'm going to make this deal. All right. And Volpe will go on the 40-man, and we'll actually start him in AAA. So, all right. Okay, so let's take a look now at free agency again. So we got $20 million, $23 million next year. I think we're okay pitching-wise. We might hold off and see if, maybe we can pick up some additional depth down the road. I mean, I wouldn't mind bringing in Zach Gallen if his demands keep dropping, bringing him in as a bullpen arm. Same thing with Luzardo. He wasn't great for us last year, but if we could bring him back for 10 or 12 million. And then batters, I don't think we need any really don't need any offensive pieces. We got Ahmed coming in. We'll need to sign him. Hopefully he signs shortly, and he'll likely be our starting shortstop. And then we'll have to figure out what to do at that point going forward, because we don't have a shortstop solution going forward. Who is on the trade block? Anybody? Willie Castro. What does Detroit want for Willie Castro? I don't have anybody who can make it work. I find that really hard to believe with my prospect pool. Okay, so you have to retain some of the money. Okay. All right, well, they don't want to give up Willie Castro, which is fine, I suppose. We're going to keep plugging away with what we have, and I don't think there was anything else on the trade block. Sure, Javi Baez, but he's not, quote-unquote, Javi Baez anymore. We could bring back Mondesi. Guys, hang on just a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so there aren't any real great options at shortstop on the trade block. What about upcoming free agents? So, I mean, Castro will be a free agent next year, so that might be an option. Corey Seager, although he's not quite that good a shortstop anymore. I mean, Willie Castro is probably the big target here. So, do we try to save our money for next season, or do we try to come up with a way to trade for Castro and then, try to figure out how to re-sign him? I think for now we just kind of stick with the plan. So let's get up to the Rule 5. Yeah, I'm still in a position where I really don't understand how we finished up with 81 wins last year. I'm hoping it was just a luck thing and we can bounce back next year and things will be better. That's the hope. Because we are a better team than that. I mean, to be completely honest. So they want to send us Cameron Cannon and Lionel James for Shirt and Apostle. I'm not interested in giving up Apostle. I would see, however, if anybody wants Freeland straight up. I mean, he's a 3-star, 24-year-old. What sorts of interest is there in Alex Freeland? And there's some decent options. Again, I mean, if we could find ourselves a, shortstop of the future kind of thing, that would be nice. A lot of players that are basically not as good as what's currently there. Ryan Ritter's not a bad defensive shortstop. He's pretty good with the bat. He's from Tinley Park, Illinois, which is very close to me. Jose Devers, not very good defensively. Can pick up another pitching prospect. Alex Green, who I have in my Tigers playthrough, he's a first baseman in that sim. Freddie Zamora, no. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of 2.5, 3-star players, but he might be the piece of a deal that could be made elsewhere. So if we do this, let's go to the players search. So ideally we bring in Ahmed this season as our catcher or as our starting shortstop, and then we find someone like I would love a Drew Bowser as my starting shortstop. So if we start with Freeland, get real. So Denny, Guest, Jones, and Wesniak. You have 4 players you cannot have. Elijah Hamill, no, that doesn't move the needle. Cole Wagner, does that move the needle? Fat Chance, no. Spencer Miles, what have I been smoking? All right, so they won't give me Drew Bowser, but that's the kind of player I'm looking for, to be completely honest. So, good defensively. Mediocre offensively. Will they do this? This is not a very good offer. See, I disagree. Yeah, that's not a deal that's happening. Okay. Gabriel Arias. Very, very good defensively. Not all that good with the bat. But again, that's the type of player I would be looking for. Let's just take a poke here. See what happens when we start with Freeland. Apostle. Okay, so they don't want to give up Arias unless I give up Apostle, which, I mean, I guess I could give up Apostle since I have Luke Leto ready to go, right? I mean, but if I'm going to give up Freeland and Apostle, then I'm going to want something better. So Apostle, Freeland. Let's see what sort of hits we can get here if we do this. Jose Rodriguez, no. So we can get Arias for that package. And he's a 3-WAR catcher. Very, very good defensively. We could immediately move on from Ahmed. But I don't... and he's not a very good hitter. And let's call it what it is. I mean, defensively, defensively he was outstanding. So that might be a move we make. Unless we can find someone who's a better hitter, but can also field the position. This might be another one of those things I do offline. Wow. Another one of those things I do offline to save you the pain of me sitting here for the next hour, hour and a half trying to find the perfect deal, which is something I would do. So I think what I'm going to do is let's get through the Rule 5 first, and then I will go offline and find myself the perfect shortstop. Just make sure there's nothing here. Nick Allen. Wow. Again, but that's way too much money. $10 million. Yeah. All right. So we're going to get up to the Rule 5. We'll go through the Rule 5, and then I will sort through it. Offline as I sim up to the start of preseason. So that'll be the move there, I think. All right, so it is time for the Rule 5. Just make sure there's nobody. I mean, our 40-man's full, so we would have to take somebody off if we wanted to put somebody else back on, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to roll with where we stand. So Rule 5 draft, we are picking 17th. Maybe we can find that shortstop here. Right? Who knows? So let's get all the way up to the top and see what we have available. So we have a David Mershon, who's pretty good defensively. Not great with the bat, but he has a good eye. Daniel Vazquez, better with the bat, but not as good with the glove. I'd rather a glove. Really good with the bat, terrible defensively. Preciado, bad defensively, good with the bat. I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? If somebody was good at both, they likely would either be on the 40-man or would already be playing. So, Michael, you know what? I saw a name in here, Antonio Gomez. This was the guy we're trying to get from the Yankees in the offseason. We may end up taking him. Alex DeJesus. Are there... Adiel Amador, he's not very good defensively. Arcia, who was that player that they were willing to trade us, is on here. That's really all I'm looking for. I don't like none of the other positions really matter to me. So if we can't find a shortstop, I'm likely to just move on, as I'm happy with Langley as my backup. Yeah, there's not really anybody here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause now, and I'm going to sim up to the preseason, at which point hopefully we will have found ourselves a long-term solution at shortstop. So we'll be back. Excuse me. All right, we are back, and it is it's spring training. We were able to make that trade for our shortstop. I don't know that it's the shortstop of our future, but it's definitely an upgrade over what we would have had there with McKinstry defensively. So we'll go back and we'll take a look, and we'll see if anything else has happened. So the White Sox traded Garrett Crochet to the Phillies. Not a big deal. Most of the big-time free agents are gone. There isn't much left at this point. But we'll go back and take a look, because I think last I checked, Zach Gallen was still there, and his contract demands were coming down, so we'll keep an eye out for that. At any rate, let's get to major transaction logs. So we are in February. Let's go back to January. We traded Enrique Castillo, a 1.5 star bullpen arm, Shirt and Apostle, who, we picked up as a Rule 5 guy and was absolutely fantastic in his role as a backup corner infielder / pinch hitter. I think we have Luke Leto to fill that role going forward. So I felt like he was movable. And Tommy Doyle. 2 below average seasons in a row for Doyle, even though he is a ground ball pitcher, just wasn't able to get it done in Colorado. So maybe a change of scenery for him will be good. To the Cleveland Indians in exchange for 25-year-old Gabriel Arias. And we looked at Arias previously. 25 years old, he's making $2.6 million this year. Last year he had 20 home runs, too good for a 2.8 WAR. But where he gets it done is defensively. It's not going to show. Where are his career fielding stats? Look at these defensive ratings at shortstop a year ago. 17.8 zone rating, 1.134 efficiency. He didn't win the Gold Glove, which is crazy, but absolutely ridiculous shortstop ratings. We did also sign Nick Ahmed, so now we have Ahmed and Arias both playing shortstop for us. So we are in good shape from a defensive standpoint in the middle infield with Arias and Ahmed at short. And Kiner Falefa will be our second baseman. So we can go ahead and move him back to second base where he's been better. So I think defensively we're going to be in pretty good shape. Spring training wise, it's a mess. Normally I just do this and let the AI control it all, but I do want to control things here. I want Drew Jones to get time in left and right this season, because it looks like Drew Jones is probably going to be our backup outfielder this year, because we still have Gallo, Adele, and Veen. We couldn't find anybody to take Joey Gallo. That doesn't mean we won't find anybody to take Joey Gallo before the season's over. It just means we haven't been able to yet. I want Pacheco to get time at third. That's second. I want him to get time at third every second game so we can work on that. Actually, no, I want Leto to get time. And I want Pacheco to get time at second and short. And I want Leto to get time at first and third. So Pacheco will get time there. Jones is going to get time in left and right. Yeah, we have a lot of talent on our team. So I don't know exactly what this is going to look like. And I don't know. Let's just go ahead a day. I want to look at the box score, because I'm not sure if in the National League we play with the DH in spring training. Doesn't look like we do. Okay. I wanted to make sure of that, because I didn't want to set the DH lineups unnecessarily. So over here we're going to do the same thing. Drew Jones every second game in left and every third game in right, because I want him to get that time. And then every fourth game in center. Yeah, we may go without Jamison Hanna this year for the first time in a season with us. Leto's going to get time in first and third. This will also mean that our starters won't potentially be setting themselves up for injury all that often, which is good. So we want Janao playing every second game. If we can get Janao, because we have Kiner Falefa through this season. And, we have a little bit of money. We'll see how he does this year. He's not a great hitter, but he's very good defensively. Ideally, Janao is our starting second baseman a year from now. And his ratings appear as though he can play second, but he was really bad last year. So I want to get him some time this year. So, yeah, we're going to run with that. And then I think we're going to get Pacheco in at third every fourth game, and at first every sixth game. I want the flexibility, right? I want flexibility from my players. And then I also want to get Pacheco some time in left every 6th game and time in right every 5th game. So that's what we're going to do there. We have some money this season to add to the team. We have some money for next year as well. So from a salary perspective, we're in pretty good shape. We finally get to Grom off our books next year. We get Gallo off the books. Joe Adell's got a team option, so we will really see what things look like through this year. See if those. I think those team options are going to be worth it, but we'll see. We may even bring back Gallo, depending on what it costs. So yeah, we have a couple players that are going to potentially jump up in cost, but I am pretty happy with the financial setup of the way things are going right now. So let's. We also got to go to pitching. That was the other thing. So we're going to go with 6-man rotation here in the postseason. Glasnow, Dunn, Leiter, Guest, Smith, and Patino. Bullpen, it wants Foley, fine. Then Gonsolin and Detmers. Yep, I'm okay with that. It's going to have Luke Leto getting some time in the bullpen, which is fine, especially here in the preseason. It's never bad to... I mean, he's potentially not a bad player, so it's definitely good to get him some experience here. So we will actually... make him a middle reliever and use him more often because I want to get him some time. So we got quite a few players that are ready to go. So we're just going to go ahead and sim through spring training. Player development right off the bat. Carter Smith got better. Oh, God, I have so much talent. Ben Guess as a starter got better. His movement's up to a 58. Man. He looks good. And Reed Detmers got better. Excellent. He's unhappy. He wants to be a starter. I get that, but I don't really have any place to put him. All right, so let's keep going and hope for no injuries. Sorry, guys. Hang on just a second. You know how this goes. If you follow me, you're aware of some of these videos being pretty choppy. I'll be right back. All right, let's keep simming ahead here. And I'm just going to go a week at a time. Hopefully we don't suffer any major injuries. And yeah, really, I'm just hoping for some bounce-back seasons. You know, Joe Adell had a down year. Jose Ramirez had a down year offensively. And then our pitching staff. You know, I mean, we got off to such a bad start, specifically Dunn and Glasnow. Speaking of Glasnow, where did he go? Where is he? Oh, he's pitching in the World Cup. All right. They were both so bad at the beginning of the year last year that it just dug us in a hole. So we are also down. All right, so let's get Bennett in there and Denny in there and get them some time. Get our bullpen set, and let's just keep going. Yeah, we just got such a bad start pitching-wise. We made a change at pitching coach, which helped, and then it was a weird season. It was just, we were so streaky, 5 wins in a row, followed by 4 losses, followed by 6 wins, followed by a 7-game losing streak. I've never played a season like that. So Dominic Fletcher's out for 6 weeks. That's fine. Again, just trying to get through spring training without any major injuries. So far, so good. Knock on wood. We'll see what happens. But Yeah, and then obviously the other issue is that we're playing in the NL West, which has got two of the best teams in baseball in Los Angeles and San Diego. We can't seem to break through because we can't be better than those teams, and that's tough. It's tough. But I think we got a good shot this year. We have some really, really high end talent on the major league roster with a lot of depth. That's one of the things I think that we have better than some of the other teams is we have a lot of depth. Depth that was allowed us to make a couple of trades this season to improve that higher end. Picking up Patino and picking up our new shortstop. So, and my memory is fading, so I'm already forgetting names. But Arias, I think was his name. So yeah. So hopefully this year will be different. And spring training doesn't mean much. We're 14-14. Joe Adell. All right, so spring training is done. We only suffered one injury of note, and that was Dominic Fletcher. Let's take a look at the mail, see if there's anything here. Yes, Monty Grandal signed with the Nationals. Gleyber Torres won the most valuable player in the World Baseball Classic. All right, let's. So we have 38 players in the big league roster, and we have 20 pitchers. So we have to send 7 pitchers down to the minors. Pitching ratings. So we're going to send Lamelli. Actually, we don't. We only have to send 6 because one of them is Luke Leto. Kostichuk, Johnson, Denny. So we got to send 2 more down. 2 more pitchers down, huh? Again, Luke Leto doesn't have to be one of them. Spencer Miles, I think, will get the start in AAA this year. We got to send 1 more down. Is it Duplantier or Conine? We have we've got Detmers and Leto as lefties, so I think it's got to be Conine. Duplante's only got a 41 control. Yeah, it's got to be Conine, which means I'm probably going to have to designate, I think. Transaction. No, I don't. Okay. All right. So Carter Smith was not good this year in at least in spring training. So we're going to start Patino, which is fine. I mean, I have no problem with that. Glasnow is going to start in place of Bennett. So we're going to go, I think, just like this. Glasnow, Dunn, Leiter, Guess, and Patino. Yeah, I think that's going to be, man, our starting rotation is potentially really, really good. All right. Bullpen, Foley's going to be our closer. Gonsolin and Detmers will be our setup. Our middle relievers will be Bennett and Carter Smith. What's this? Duplantier. And I think we're going to lean a little bit heavier. I think we're going to lean a little bit heavier on Carter Smith. I would normally say Jackson Bennett, but that fly ball tendency worries me a tad. So we will see how it goes. Duplantier will be that. Medina, no, he's not going to have a setup as a secondary role. We will have Jackson Bennett set up as a secondary role. And Gonsolin will actually be the backup closer. Detmers can be that. All right, so Foley is our closer, followed by Gonsolin and Detmers, Carter Smith, Luke Leto, Adonis Medina, Jackson Bennett as our middle relievers, with McCartier and Duplantier as our long relievers. Glasnow will start at an opening day for a 3rd straight season for us, followed by Dunn, Leiter, Guess, and Patino. So we're at 32. That means we have to send 6 batters down. What did that do for Pacheco? Okay, so Pacheco got some run at first base, left field, and shortstop. That's exactly what I wanted. Who are the obvious send-downs? Elijah Hamill, Cole Wagner, Carter Smith, Najiba. So we still have to send 3 players down, right? Yeah, we're at 29. Drew Jones, you can see, already ratings in left and right. Do we... I'd like to hold on to Kike, but I don't know if that's going to be doable this year. I think we're going to have to... I think we're going to have to DFA Kike. So we still have to send 2 players down. And that's... I mean, I think Pacheco is one of them just because he hasn't played above AA. But he will likely be up sooner rather than later. And then I'm going to... how do I want to do this? I want to get him playing time all over the diamond. I don't know if that's an option. Game strategy. So right now he's gotten playing time at first. He's okay at third. I think I want to get him some playing time out in the outfield. What do his outfield? Yeah, I mean, he could play left field with those ratings. So I want to take Pacheco, and I want to force him out into left field for a bit. And Wagner, we're going to force into right field. That way, those 2 guys can get playing time at other positions. Pacheco can get additional value with... I mean, it drops his overall, but, you know, I don't really care about that. So we'll get him some playing time in left. So we still have to send a player down. I mean, Drew Jones is the obvious answer. Or is Jamison Hanna the obvious answer? I think we send Jamison Hanna down. We have Luke Leto as a left-handed bat. Jose Ramirez is a switch hitter. Well, he's also going to be a starter. I don't know why he's on the bench. And I need to leave Leto up. The flexibility of, I mean, yeah, Luke Leto. Wow, he's good. All right. I mean, Hanna has done absolutely nothing to deserve being sent down to the minor leagues. He has been absolutely outstanding for us in 4 seasons. Probably one of my favorite players in this series for us, Jamison Hanna. I mean, we could always just move on from Nick Ahmed. It's $3 million. He's not going to play every day. Our everyday shortstop's Gabriel Arias. Who do we have that could play backup? Do we have anybody? Yeah, Kiner Falefa can play backup at short. Henao, yeah, I think we move on from Nick Ahmed. Maybe we'll get lucky and somebody will claim them. All right, so let's clear the lineups. Clear the depth charts. And I am recording, yes. And let's set our lineups. All right. So Jose Ramirez is going to bat third. Zach Veen looks like he's taking a step backwards. It's a bit disappointing. Wozniak, we had him batting, I think, second last year, if I remember correctly, as I just kick my... hang on just a second, sorry. I'm sorry about all the noise. All right, so... all right. What do we want to do here? Our lineup is crazy good. I just don't know what I want to. So Wozniak will bat second. Gallo will bat fourth. Who's our leadoff hitter? Is it Kiner Falefa? I think it's Kiner Falefa. So Kiner Falefa at second. Wozniak, Ramirez, Gallo. Zach Veen. Yeah, see, I'm going to bat Veen there because I want to go lefty, righty, lefty. Romo. Yeah, I don't know if I'm crazy about that lineup, though. Veen's numbers seem to have dropped a bit. That's a little concerning. It's okay. We'll see how he does this year, I guess. I mean, it's not overly concerning, and we can always just stick Drew Jones out there if he's not hitting well, so I'm not really worried about it. But so center field. Oh, right. This is what I wanted. Joe Adell. I don't know why I missed Joe Adell. Romo will bat seventh. And then Arias will bat 8th. And then here it wants Leto every 20th. Yeah, see, I got to get Luke Leto some additional playing time. He's a lefty. He's actually better against lefties than... Oof, this is a good roster, man. Let me tell you something. Hannah will get the start in left and right. Langley will start once a week. We're going to do this. Wow. Just wow. I mean, seriously, that lineup is crazy good. I mean, look at some of these ratings we have sitting on the bench. I don't know what I'm going to do with Leto. I mean, I got to find a spot for him with that bat. I mean, he's our leadoff hitter next year, but where's he going to play? You know, he's not going to play first base, and he's not going to play third base. I mean, do we stick him in left and do something with Veen? I mean, I don't know. Zach Veen has had played 2 full seasons. He's put up 2 40 home runs, 110 RBI seasons. He's 11.5 WAR in 2 seasons, and he's 24. So I'm not worrying about that right now. That's a problem for another time. So as we go here, against DHs, this is going to allow us to get Leto some playing time against lefties or against righties. We'll move everybody around a bit. Stick with the lineup like that. I think, though, here we're going to do something like this. Get Leto in there in the DH spot. Okay, and then against lefties. Do I want to do anything? Do I have anybody who's just really bad against left-handed hitting? I think against lefties, we're going to get Jones out there for Gallo, and we'll stick Jones in center and Adele in right. And we'll bat Adele cleanup, and we'll do something like that. It's Romo against lefties. Not great. We'll do something like that against lefties. Keeps Gallo on the bench. I don't want Langley as my main pitch hitter, though, against lefties because he's my catcher. So as soon as he pinch hits, I don't have a catcher. And then copy that lineup. And then against lefties, we'll do the same thing. We'll put Leto out there as a designated hitter. And we will bat him... No, I think how's Kiner Falefa against lefties? My guess is he's pretty good, right? Yeah, he's just as good against lefties as righties. What happened there? Oh, I switched Leto and Veen by mistake. Yeah, 79-70. Yeah, I think... Nope, I think we do that against lefties. Let's move Falefa up one. Generate depth chart. And wants Gallo. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Gallo starting at DH against lefties. So that is our bullpen. That is our rotation. That is our lineup set. We need to... Let's look at the offseason center. What's his name still there? No, it looks like Gallen signed with somebody. That's fine. There's not really anybody left here that I would like to throw any money at, so I think we're okay from a free agent perspective. I can probably do this and offer some players some minor league deals and see if they take it. How long's Freeland out for? 6 months? Yes, we won't offer him. We will offer Davies. And then let's just look at the batters really quickly. Let's see. Nick Solak, Josh Bell. I like to offer anybody who's 2.5 stars or up a minor league contract and see if they take it. So I'll just offer those guys right there. And see if that works. So let's get up to opening day. And we'll call it an episode. So yeah, this I would have liked to have done a live stream, but... Father's Day. So I'm going to enjoy Father's Day. And we are going to pass on the live stream this week. So Patino got stamina got better. His movement got better. McCartier got better, which is nice. His stuff dropped a little bit, but everything else got better, and he's a ground ball pitcher. Glasnow got a little worse. That stuff is starting to drop a bit. I don't know if we make somebody else our opening day starter. We'll take a look here again in a second. Justin Dunn, his movement dropped a bit. That's fine. Bennett's movement dropped a little bit, but his control got better yet again. Wesniak, all of his ratings got worse, but his potential got better. Leto got better. And now got better. Yeah, Veen dropped, like I thought. Power, Contact, and I all dropped. Not much, but they all dropped. Drew Jones got a little worse. His potential got worse across the board, which is a little concerning. But again, it could just very well be that spring training fluctuation, so I'm not really worried about it. We'll see what happens over the course of the year. Gallo got a little worse. His defensive ratings got worse. Yeah, we're going to be moving on from Joey at the right time, I believe. Spencer Miles got better. Jim Denny got a lot better. Holy crap. Okay. He'll be in AAA this year, and he'll be up next year. So we're going to have more decisions. We have decisions to make every year, but these are good decisions, as Denny will be called up next season. Pacheco, again, he'll get some time in left field. Hopefully we can get some flexibility. Once he gets this rating up, I'll move him to right field. Then I'll move him to first base and see if we can get some of that flexibility here over the course of the season. So we need to go in here really quickly and see if there's anybody we need to call up. Let's do that real quick. So Bernal is still in rookie ball. Tadlock, he's not really. I'm just looking for anybody that I may want to call up. And I'll cut some players here. I don't need 108 players in my international team. Chad Horn was our number 2 pick last season, started in rookie ball. They have him in A ball now, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and disable that. The DSL, these guys are still okay there, I think. Yeah, these guys will probably get cut. My high A team's not very good. Carter Young has turned out to not be great, but he was a 9th round pick, so I'm not really worried about that. Our AA team has a lot of old talent on it. It does have Isaac Pacheco, which I don't want. I want him in AAA. Calvin Harris hasn't developed as much as I would have liked, but he'll start in AA. I mean, those ratings he can play as a backup catcher, so I'm not too worried about that. And then AAA looks fine. Denny and Parker in AAA this year. They'll both be up with the big club next year. So, yeah, our pitching staff next year could look different in that position of strength. I mean, do we move on from Glasnow? Do we try to move on from Dunn and run with Guess, Leiter, Patino, Carter Smith, Jim Denny, Caedmon Parker? I don't have any idea. Preseason predictions have us going 98-64 in winning the National League West. I would take that. There's Jose Ramirez, Joe Adele. No pitchers. Lead the National League, lead all of the majors in home runs, or second in the majors in home runs, with a decent pitching staff. I mean, if we had a 4.19 ERA this year, I absolutely would take that. Minor league system rankings, we are 3rd. We have Denny, Jones, Negron, Leto, and Pacheco. Again, that's fine, considering we had Guess graduate from that list. And I think that's going to do it here, guys. I think we're done. For you, it was about an hour. For me, it was like 4, which is fine. I mean, I love playing the game, and I love digging for the best deals, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, we're going to be taking on Arizona on opening day. So in the next episode, we will play through that first game like we always do. And then I'll sim through the month of April. So let me know what you thought of my off-season moves, bringing in Gabriel Arias, bringing in Luis Patino, moving on from McKinstry and Dominguez and Diaz and Ali Sanchez. I mean, those were the big names that we moved on from. We saved some payroll, and I think, I say this every year, but I think we're better this year than we were last year. Hopefully, it shows up on the standings page where it didn't a year ago, but we will see. So, as always, guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, drop these guys here at GM Games a subscribe and follow their Discord. Head over to Around the World Sports, drop me a subscribe over there, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.